Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
A burst pipe at 3 a.m. is a bad way to start the day. A cold shower in November isn't invigorating. So before you start freaking, call Beacon. Beacon Plumbing, Heating, and Mechanical is just one call away 24 hours a day. 1-800-FREAKIN or beaconplumbing.net.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Your guess is as good as mine. Cut out the categories, snobbiest states in the United States, and your favorite cereals. We'll salute the captain coming up with your guess as good as mine. In the meantime, it is our random question. Question 206-421-ROCK.
Random.
Hello, Sean. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Boo! Just
Boo! Sean, welcome to the program. Random question. All right, Sean, what do we got for you? How about this one? Sean, when did you ruin things for someone else or everyone else? And were you ever caught?
I mean, the getting caught thing is the real problem. I've certainly ruined things for people, but I didn't have to admit to it. But when you get caught, it really, really sucks.
I don't think I can remember anything doing that.
You never ruined a date? You never ruined anything?
Farted in a car and just made it a bad ride.
Oh!
Oh, that rings a bell, yeah. I got a real stinky butt.
No, my mom and I were in Hong Kong years ago, and we were in the elevator going up to the floor that we were staying on, and I let one rip in the elevator, and as the door opened up, there was this Indian family that was about to get in the elevator.
Did they choose to get on, or did they get a whiff and back out?
They got on right after we got out.
And then what is the face like? Do you look at their faces as the door is closing?
Their faces were probably horrified by the smell.
Mm-hmm. It was that. But look, I tried to do that on the elevators here. It's
as much as you can.
I call it fart tag. It's just funny to me, right? So we're on the 14th floor. In my estimation, when you get to about floor 9, that's when you let it rip because you get full permeance, right? Because I just know whoever gets on the elevator next, it's going to suck. But it is backfired because Mike Hawk did not do it to me on purpose. But I was going to go down and smoke a cigarette. He arrives at work, the door opens, and he gets this big grin. He's like, sorry, bud, just blew one out. And it was thick. But the worst part is, on the way down, we stopped on like floor 7. So someone else gets on, and they think I did it.
Right.
And that's...
Way to go, Mike.
Okay.
Yeah, that to me, that's the worst part.
My best unintentional work.
It was about 7-8 people coming over for dinner about 3 or 4 years ago, and it was my job to buy the brisket and then kind of, take care of the brisket, right?
All right.
So I go to the, basically a grocery outlet to buy the brisket, which is like in a walk-in freezer, and up top it says, whole beef brisket, or whatever the hell it is, cap, whatever. And then in real small lettering below that, I come to find out it said corned, all right? So it wasn't beef brisket, it was corned beef.
Right.
Which is completely different than beef brisket. Well, you don't know that when you're cooking it until you cut into the damn thing. And then I'm like, oh, God, it's corned beef.
Was everyone pissed?
Well, that's the main part of the meal, you see. There's a religious dinner, so the sides weren't mashed potato stuffing. It wasn't like up to snuff where you could just go and, eat all kinds of sides and be fine.
Right.
It was one of those things where you need to have that brisket, and I didn't.
Seems odd you're enjoying an Irish delicacy.
On a Jewish holiday.
I'm sure they pointed that out.
Right, exactly.
Did anybody eat it?
No, it was not edible. The way it was cooked. That's not how you would cook corned beef. You need to kind of put it more into some juices. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So you cooked it as a brisket, only to realize it is not a brisket.
You know, you know when we would get the brisket that was cooked in the men's room red. I mean, it's kind of swimming in juices.
Sure, I made a corned beef this year for St. Patrick's Day.
So you know, put it in a crock pot.
But I had it in a crock pot.
Oh, St. Patrick's Day, okay.
Yeah.
Not Passover. So.
Gotcha. No. No, not one of the...
Because that would be stupid.
Right. and then I tried to take it down the garbage disposal and ruin that.
You tried to put brisket
in pieces,
corned beef
in pieces
in a garbage disposal?
Why didn't you just put it in compost, man? I mean, God, you put a whole corned beef.
I'm sorry. I didn't know.
You had to buy a new one?
I'm sorry. Yes.
What did you end up eating for dinner?
The question is, when did you ruin things for everyone else?
What did they end up eating? Because the main, like you said, the main course is gone.
You got to eat everything else. Here's some sauerkraut. Here's a Locky.
Was there a matzo ball around?
Yeah, maybe that was the same.
All right,
but you only get one. You know what I mean? So it kind of sucks. It's not like it's
because they're going to be full of brisket. You see,
yeah.
So you don't need a whole lot of matzah.
Wait for the main course, and then you cut into it. Realize that 8 hours was a complete waste of time, Ted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I had one more question.
Yes. I didn't have a backyard to bury it in.
When you opened up the package, though, could you kind of tell the seasoning was different?
It wasn't seasoned. It had a package of seasoning because I went down into the trash can because I'm going to pull this stuff out. Inside of that heavy duty
like plastic wraps it up.
It was like like you got to rip into it. Was a bag that was taped underneath the label of those little whatever they are corn seeds things.
Yeah, the peppercorn.
That's what makes it corned beef.
Right, exactly. So
that's one. Ted's real quick on that. Like, hey man, that might be for corned beef.
I am well aware of that.
Literally, that's what they call it, corned beef.
I am well aware of that now. Yes, you live and you learn.
You sure these are ribs? It looks like a ham hock, man.
I mean, God. Just like, and all these people are sitting there. Like,
how many people were present?
Like 7, 8 people.
You're the one non-Jewish person at this entire Jewish dinner.
Guess the non-Jewish person.
Leave it to the goy to F this whole thing up.
I'm going to go with old corned beef over here.
He probably loves Jesus, the Jew.
Man, I've never heard him reference that one. That sounds, I don't know.
He was the king of the Jews. Yeah.
I know, it's just Jesus, the Jew. I'm like,
he's the king of the Jews. If anybody should get props for being Jewish, it's Jesus Christ. Let's face it. If you're going to worship a Jewish guy, why not? The reason I asked, well, it's true.
Well, he said he was.
I mean, if you're basing the whole religion on it. Yeah, exactly. When did you ruin things for everyone else? Police in France want to talk to the fan who caused a massive crash at the Tour de France on Saturday, but she may have already fled the country.
The country?
The woman was looking at the camera, not the cyclist, when she stepped out into their path and held out a large sign. There was a hello to her grandparents.
Oh, did you see it?
Yes. German cyclist Tony Martin crashed into the sign, causing a pileup that took out most of the riders behind them. Race organizers, and you know what they call that group of cyclists that are together? Do you have any idea what they call this?
A group of cyclists.
A group of cyclists biking
specifically together.
Yes. In a group, racing.
So typically when they name these things, it's somewhat similar to how you see the animal. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's why it's like a sparkle of unicorn. Seriously, that's what it's called.
You can't believe what this one is. It's right there.
A wheelie. It is a wheelie of bikers.
Right there.
A flood.
A flood of bikers. It's incorrect. It is known as a peloton.
Oh, my God.
What? Oh, it's probably why they named the bikes that.
Ding, 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 ding.
I would have never known.
A race organizer, I didn't know that until I read this right now. A race organizer is planning to sue the woman, and police have opened a criminal investigation. France media reports that the woman, thought to be German, fled the scene and is believed to have flown out of the country.
Back to Deutschland.
I wish we had Robin here. Her sign read, Olez Opi Omi. The French for, that's French, sorry. Her sign read, well, she was German. I figured she'd write the goddamn thing in German, wouldn't you? Her sign read,
I only send cards to my parents in Mandarin.
That is French for go and German terms of endearment for grandparents. Oh, Jesus. We are going to try to find this woman and sue her. Tour director Pierre Yves Thoreau said. We are doing this so that the tiny minority of people who do this don't spoil the show for everyone. The crash forced one cyclist to pull out of the tour completely. Another 8
were treated for pretty severe injuries. Several spectators also were injured after the pileup. I saw the lady, I saw the sign, but there was no time to react. I still can't understand how people can do things like that.
They're stupid.
Police in France have issued a description of the woman and said she is being investigated for causing unintentional injury with incapacity not exceeding 3 months by manifestly willful violation of an obligation of safety or prudence. And this is why we hire lawyers, because that
Don't step in the middle of the street.
That makes absolutely no sense.
How did no one stop her? Right? Because I saw the
she jumped out right before the cyclist came through.
and I saw them go down, but then she had to go back through the crowd to get out of the scene. Right? So there's a bunch of other people standing there. It's not like she was standing there solo. There's a crowd of people.
Well, they knocked the sign out of her hand. She took off running. I mean, they plowed through that sign like you would like a tape at the end of a race. You know what I mean? It's like boom, and that sign just went.
Yeah,
flying.
she backed into the guy.
I mean, I think she probably just mixed in with the crowd and took off.
Yeah, maybe.
It's also, they're just on the side of a road.
I know.
Like, is that, you know what I mean? It's
That's
not
what
like,
I mean. Where do you escape to? Either you go back down the road, because like you said, these roads, Tour de France, man, not like you're in the middle of Manhattan or something, or she like disappeared into the Alps somewhere. I mean, where do you hide in the middle of the mountains?
Well, you got to remember this happened Saturday. She's already out of the country. So she got out either Saturday night or Sunday morning. That's what they believe. So she hightailed it out of there.
I understand.
You got to remember, like,
disruptive,
they're not racing in Paris. They are racing in, like, rural parts of France.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not like she just hopped on a plane somewhere. Maybe she could do it on a train.
So I mean, it seems like it'd be easier to find. Look,
well,
I don't
she's
know.
German, and it's in France. I mean, it's not that far of a drive.
Yeah, I'm going to run to the border. I don't know. But
Right, like, you held a sign at the Tour de France.
You clipped the guy.
So you're going to get arrested there. But, like, if she's back in Germany, it's like, are the Germans going to be like, yeah, we'll send her? Like, do they care?
Look, the penalty's only 3 months. You go, no. And like if you said this is a 10-year thing, then maybe you negotiate about like I said to Bragg, the worst she's going to get is 3 months. It's not even worth it. It's not worth 3 months.
Yeah.
But I found it funny. I understand it's detrimental, but not them crashing, but just the idea of why it happened. I mean, one thing if she did it on purpose. Like, you son of a bitch. I'm like, this poor woman, her dumb ass steps in the middle of a narrow highway where the only thing on there are hundreds of bikers.
2-lane road. I mean, it's just
random.
Hello, Casey. Welcome to the men's room.
Hi.
Hola. Casey, welcome to the program. Random question. You staying cool there, Casey?
I'm looking currently for either an air conditioning unit or a box fan, but everywhere's sold out in town so far.
I would have to think that's probably okay. And there's nowhere you can drive where like one's going to be readily available either.
No. We luckily had an old fan.
I drove 45 minutes north to find one, and then there wasn't one there by the time I got there after I called.
Casey, I don't have to level with you. You're going to have to break into someone's house to steal one. Now, I know that sounds extreme, but the stores don't have them.
I'm wondering, could you get one like on Walmart.com or Amazon.com that comes in from somewhere else? You know what I mean? Or
I mean, I'm sure you could order one,
but then by the time it gets here, the heat waves up.
But just go into a hardware store, or like home improvement store right now. It's just brutal. I
was in the darkest corner of our basement pretty much all day yesterday. It's already the basement, the darkest corner, because we realized the basement got up to 78 degrees. The upstairs was 91. And my kids kept bitching.
Oh, my goodness.
It's so hot. I'm like, I'm sorry you were so hot. Okay. I feel perfectly great.
Casey, have you traveled around a bit? Have you been to a few different places in your life?
I've been to 31 different states.
Awesome. Okay, this is going to be the perfect question.
Which one would you not want to go back to again?
North Carolina.
Okay, I've been there. I get it.
Where were you in North Carolina?
Well, I graduated from Albemarle High School, which is about 45 minutes outside of Charlotte. But I went to Gardner-Webb University there, which is a private Southern Baptist university, and it totally killed the whole state for me from their prejudice there.
Okay, well, you got to go to Asheville or somewhere different.
Oh, I love Asheville.
Yeah, let's go with this one.
Asheville.
What surprised you, maybe even culturally, when you went and visited somewhere else, whether it be good or bad? There's all kinds of. Like you go to a hellhole in the middle of nowhere and you can't believe how good the food is, or how cheap it is, or whatever that kind of thing is. What shocked you when you visited someplace?
Okay, so I grew up for the most part in Seward, Alaska. And when it was the middle of 8th grade when we moved to North Carolina. And my mom moved us down there for a better education, right? my first day in English class, my teacher said, I hope y'all done did your homework. And I was mortified. I texted my mom in class, and I was like, what kind of hick hellhole did you send me to?
But you got to think, I can ace this.
Yeah, no, that was actually like the best thing. I went from being like a C kid to an A kid.
Well, let me ask. Okay, well, that's a good thing. So, what about just the amount of people? You're coming from a place that doesn't have a lot of people, doesn't have a lot of choices. If there's a grocery store, there's a grocery store. If there's a guy, now you've got them all over the place. Was that kind of shocking to you?
It genuinely was. I had like my store shopping. We got to go to Anchorage once or twice a year. And it was like Kmart, and like eventually the mall started getting some cooler stores like Maurice's and stuff. So I thought like that's how they were everywhere. So when I walked into like a Maurice's down south, I was like, whoa, I get why all these girls are so like, insta-cute online. Well, because they actually have variety.
My biggest pet peeve is I'll be watching ESPN or ESPN2 or more of a national channel, right? And they'll have a commercial on for a restaurant. This happens a lot when I'm watching Canadian television as well. It looks like it would just be awesome, but they don't have any in our area.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I can't go there. So like if you're in Alaska and like they have some crazy Sunday deal for NFL football, Buffalo Wild Wings, you've never stepped foot in a Buffalo Wild Wing. So it's just they're taunting you and teasing you. You know what I mean?
Or the $5 foot-long deals or the dollar menu. I never seen a genuine dollar meal or dollar menu until I was 14 years old. Everything, it was like a $2 and a $3 meal, items.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I would not have thought about
that. Right. Okay.
You can't even get a 6-inch sandwich for $5 in Alaska.
So, other than North Carolina, where would you say is the other place that you would not like to go? Because you live there. So, but it's upon just visiting a place, where is you checked it off, you're good?
Mississippi.
Say no more.
And I think I would eventually go back. However, Alaska obviously has seafood and whatnot. However, I went to a crawfish boil while we were driving through, and I was mortified, for lack of a better term. I'm like, Mom, what are they eating? I don't no, I'm not putting my mouth on that.
Yeah, you were you never tasted seasoning before.
Especially when they call it butt sucking. I mean, that does not work as a great say. Come over here and suck a butt, girl.
You guys ever go to
right? No.
Mud bug.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, suck the butt of a mud bug. If you don't know what it is, I'm going to go ahead and pass on that.
You guys ever go to a place and you're just like, what is going on here? I can't even Reno, Nevada for me, where I was just in shock. I mean, I was in shock based on the fact that I was one of the few people, and I'm not making this up, that I could see that could walk decently under their own power.
Right.
Everybody required some type of assistance, had a limp, was dragging a leg. I'm not making that up. They had a motorized chair. I mean, I was one of the few people there who could walk. And I'm not, look, not everybody, but for the most part in my hotel, granted there was a senior cribbage tournament going on in the hotel that I was staying in. So that probably had a lot to do with it. But that place just shocked me.
I mean, generally in the U.S., I'm not shocked because there's a lot of variety in this country, right? And whether we're bitching about it or celebrating it, but you kind of know what you're getting into when you go to a place because we at least have a general idea. And that said, I have been shocked by the physical appearance of some people. We're Mount Pelier, Ohio, and I'm like, for the life of me, I cannot understand how everyone in this family, their eyes are so far on the side of their head. Mm-hmm. But I will say, when we did the cruise, one thing I discovered about Europeans, well, everybody smokes and nobody smokes a legitimate cigarette. They smoke the most pissant, right? So if they bummed a Marlboro Red, I mean, they're coughing, looking at me like, oh my God, but there are no body image problems in Europe. That said, there should be. I understand how confident you are to stroll out here in your Speedo, but the fact that it took me 5 minutes to figure out whether or not you were naked or had the Speedo on. And, dude,
European dudes love Speedo.
No shame
in that
cares what you think of their body, and that's a good thing, because if they did, they'd have the feeling sure. But they don't care. And I mean, we were, you know how it is in the States, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, everything's about, and look, they dress well. It's not that. Like, if they went out for a night on the town, like, I don't care how well you dress, they dress better. But when it came to going to a beach or getting in the pool, I just could not believe what I was saying. And they just lay there sunbathing, man, like, oh my God.
I think when I went to my brother got married in rural Michigan, in like southeast Michigan, kind of close to Toledo. I had been in Amish areas of Pennsylvania before, and I've been in Amish areas of Ohio before, where you stop over and you're like, there's a horse and buggy. You know, and I always get confused with Mennonites too. But either way, we get to Michigan, the whole town, basically where I was staying in the hotel, was completely Amish. So
can you get booze? I mean,
no, no. You got to drive into Ohio. I mean, it's farmland in the middle of nowhere. I just didn't. That was not what I thought.
Why did it get married?
Because it was kind of outside of Detroit, so I just figured, you know what I mean. It wouldn't be too crazy, as
right. I can't imagine doing. I get it if you take the kids and there's things you do where drinking is not high on the list. But typically, when you say a wedding, people are thinking reception, and then you're thinking
it was a dry wedding. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Good times. The reason we asked, what surprised you when you visited somewhere else? There's a guy named Frank Alito, and he grew up on Long Island, lives in Brooklyn now, and he writes for the site Insider.com, and he's been a city boy his entire life. So he did an article on Insider's travel section last week after visiting the Midwest of the United States for the first time. So he listed some of his astute observations, things anyone who has been to the Midwest already knows, but these were shocking revelations to him.
Okay.
Because he's a Brooklyn guy, right? He says, it's amazing that things move at a slightly slower pace here, restaurants and trains included. People are almost too nice. It confused me at first, and it made me feel uncomfortable. It gets hot in the Midwest in June. That surprised me because he always thought it topped out about 70. It was over 90 his entire trip. He was shocked at the fact that a cocktail wasn't $15, and there was no such thing as a $50 dinner. It was half that, so he kind of felt like he could cut loose. He was also shocked how much time the Midwesterners spend in nature, all the talk you heard about cabins, hikes, outdoors, people appreciating large bodies of water more than New Yorkers. And
they can get in them in the Midwest.
One thing that made him mad more than anything else is it's impossible to get an Uber. He says it's 5 minutes in New York max, but sometimes it's 20, 25, 30 minutes, even in Chicago and Detroit. So he says, be sure if you go to Chicago or Detroit, plan ahead for an Uber.
These are major ass cities. He's like, it's a little backwards.
He's roughing it.
Yeah. You ever been somewhere where there's one guy in town that does Uber and Lyft?
Like he's the guy.
Yeah. And then every night at 9 o'clock, he'd shut it down.
What's the dude's name in Roswell again? Who's got the van? Drives everybody around. I cannot remember that guy's name. I've used him like 3 or 4 times. One dude, one van.
I want to say you told us about him too, Ted.
Yeah, his wife had passed away, or his daughter had passed away because of a DUI. And he drives
Rosalind, Washington?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
Man, I was sworn you said it too. But yeah, I mean, I never had the guy, but yeah.
I can't remember the guy's name. I'll just give you a ride for free and you tip him. All right. But he's the only guy. I mean, you got to use him. More of the random question coming up, 206-421-ROCK.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Your home equity. It could be an untapped opportunity instead of an untouchable asset. Introducing HomeTap. HomeTap is an investor, not a lender. They give you cash in exchange for a share of your home's future value. Use it to pay off debt, make renovations, fund a business, or just live a better life. There's no interest or monthly payments to worry about. HomeTap. Get more from home ownership. Get more from life. Subject to eligibility, terms and conditions apply. Visit HomeTap.com to apply in minutes. That's HomeTap.com.
For tank and tankless hot water heaters, for clogged drains, for leaky faucets, for toilets that won't flush. Stop freaking and call Beacon. Beacon Plumbing, Heating, and Mechanical is your trusted source to solve all your plumbing needs. 1-800-FREAKIN or beaconplumbing.net.
9 KISW. Yeah! You're in the men's room.
Your guess is as good as mine. Cut up our categories today: the snobbiest states in America and your favorite cereals. We'll play your guess is as good as mine right after emails on our random question. 206-421-ROCK.
Random.
Hello, Lisa. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola. I just want to say shout out to our male men and women out there in this hot ass weather.
Oh, yeah, they are dying.
We just had a guy check in and says, I'm an Amazon driver out here in the heat today. Please be kind to your delivery drivers today.
No kidding. As many times we're getting in and out of that truck.
In fact, I got almost an angry text from my wife earlier, but I said, look, man, it's winter, I have air conditioning in the house. hey, how's it going at the house? I should preface this by saying I ordered a new base cabinet. It weighs 70 pounds. I ordered this thing like in May or late April. Well, it showed up today, so basically she said, I took your goddamn base cabinet, got in the house, I'm not doing another thing today. Mm-hmm. But I'm excited to get home.
Yeah, good times. All right, let's go with this one. What would you say is the last big argument that you had with either one of your two parents? When was the last time you guys just disagreed on something?
Oh, well, that happens with my stepdad and I quite often. He's Hispanic, and he grew up in South America, so a lot of his the things that he thinks are how everybody should live are much more strict than here. He's constantly trying to get me to cook dinner, and like making it so like even when I do tell him, hey, look, I cooked dinner, try it, he never does. But yells at me later on to try cooking, just get in the kitchen and try it. I'm like, dang.
Okay.
I won't even try it.
Are you a pretty good cook when you do cook?
No.
Okay. All right. Well,
no, but
then you need to listen to him.
I will magically become one.
You should just cook him a meal, let him eat it, let him hate it, and then he won't ask you as much.
What do you eat normally? What kind of foods do you eat?
Well, I mean, it's mostly random, but like I just recently had like tried, cooking like steak and meat and stuff besides bacon. I have called you guys a long time ago, and the bacon is the thing that I can cook. But I've actually tried like my own seasoning on meat, which isn't much, but like pepper, basically. It's like I'm not very exciting here, but like I tried, but we constantly argue about it. I'm like, I cooked you food, you didn't eat it. Why? That's a big argument that we constantly keep getting into.
Okay.
My mom's a good cook, but I'm not.
And your stepfather's still with your mom?
Yeah, no, they've been together for forever.
Okay.
Like 14 years or something now.
Have you ever enjoyed his company?
Okay, well, like enjoy it or tolerated it. There's a difference.
That answers the question.
All right. Okay. Have you ever wanted to learn like any food that your mom made growing up and how she made certain dishes that you like?
I've actually tried to copy the spaghetti that I used to love as a kid that she would make that I thought I did pretty good, but again, like every time I try to cook, it's like most people it's not that they won't even really try it is the thing. It's like I put a lot of effort into it.
No, wait. It's one thing to try someone's food and say, man, thanks for the effort, I don't like it. It's another thing where you set a plate in front of me, I can just look at it. And we're talking spaghetti. I can look at it and say, that is not going in my mouth. Mm-hmm. What is it about your food? What does it look like when you serve it?
I think I'm just giving it to the wrong people.
Okay. All right, fair enough.
The people that really just aren't hungry enough, but yet I was like, trying.
Okay, so everyone in your life are the wrong people, and none of them are that hungry if you cook. But if someone else cooked, I imagine they're plenty hungry.
Well, don't call me out like that.
I mean, I'm just trying to paint the picture for you.
No, I think that has. I think I did. I have made like a ribeye recently where I got like a lot of compliments on it because there was a couple more people to feed, and we were making a lot of food that night. One of the things I did was ribeyes, and that was good. But after that, anybody else that I've tried to cook a meal for singularly, like us and me, or like just two people, they're just not hungry enough to even really care, or they just I don't know, they're too nice to say anything. I don't know.
They're being too nice.
Not hungry enough.
Yeah, they're not. I came over here for dinner, but I stopped on my way. Carl's Jr.
You invited me for dinner, but I'm not hungry enough to even try it. Yeah.
That excuse is just new to me.
Yeah.
They just aren't hungry enough.
Nobody here.
You need to start calling people out, Lisa. Like, just try it. I know it sucks, but yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Well, then they're going to tell me it's bad, and I don't want to hear that.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
Speaking of,
I'm sorry, but like spaghetti, like we're boiling noodles and adding sauce.
But just the appearance of it, people are still like, yeah, I don't want to try. Spaghetti doesn't even look good in theory. It's noodles in sauce.
Reason we asked, what was the last big argument you had with your parents? We go back to cooking on this one.
Oh, God damn.
As a Spanish man has been jailed for 15 years and 5 months, that's not a lot, considering that he ate his mother at their apartment that they shared in Madrid. Alberto Gomez killed his mother, cut up her body, and ate her over a period of at least 15 days in early of 2019. His mother, who was not named in the court statement, has been identified by local media as Maria Gomez. Sanchez, who is now 28, was arrested in February 2019, and his trial just started a couple weeks ago. He was sentenced to 15 years for murder and 5 months for the desecration of a corpse. Officers found remains of the victim in Tupperware boxes. The police tweeted at the time of his arrest that she had not been seen for months. He allegedly strangled her to death following an argument about something. He then cut up her body using a carpenter saw and 2 kitchen knives and stored the pieces in a freezer and threw others into trash and in plastic bags. He has been dubbed the Cannibal of Las Ventas.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
you know the difference between him and you, Miles, aside from not eating your own mother, he did not try to put her body parts down the garbage disposal. He recognized inherently that might mess it up. Well, they got in an argument. I'm like, I've argued with my parents. At no point did I think, I'm going to kill you and I'm going to eat you.
Yeah, you're killing your own parent and then eating
And then I'm going to eat you after that. Hello, Alex. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey guys, it's been a while. How you doing?
Hola.
Alex, doing well. Welcome to the program. Random question. Okay, Alex, what do we got for you? Okay. Hey, what were you hit with? Alex, what have you been hit with in your life? Maybe someone threw something at you? Maybe they beat you over the head with it?
The hoof of a horse.
What's that?
The hoof of a horse.
Somebody threw the hoof of a horse at you.
That's right. They chopped off the foot and then threw it at him. They were so mad.
Did you get kicked?
Yes, I did.
Where did you get kicked?
In the backside.
Oh, so it kicked you in the ass. That's fortunate.
More lower, but kind of, yeah.
Because most
Wait a
people
minute, wait.
Did he kick you in your legs? Did he kick you in the butt?
Did it kick you in the gooch?
The leg.
Okay, all right. And was the horse angry? Did you just happen to be there? Or why did it come up to this?
It got spooked by a car passing by, and as it was like flailing about, I got caught in the crossfire and it boom right in the leg.
Did it cause a contusion or anything like that? I mean, did your leg turn purple and black and green and all that?
No, but I landed in a big pile of crap, of horse crap.
Okay,
all right.
Which is mostly hay.
Well, that's cool.
That's real cool.
I mean, might as well take the double whammy if you can. You know what I mean?
Why do animals always get that excuse, right? So he's probably right, but a horse kicks you, and you land in a pile of crap, which to me seems like a setup. But they go, oh, no. He was spooked by cars. Like, Ted, if I'm walking by you and just sucker punch you, I go, sorry, man, I was spooked when the refrigerator turned on. You wouldn't believe me for a second.
Correct.
An animal does it. You're like, oh, they were spooked by fireworks, by a car, by this. But I'm like, maybe that animal doesn't like your ass.
But I definitely have had a friend wake me up to try to, startle you and got punched.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah. All right.
Because I got spooked.
All right, fair enough.
Reason we asked, what were you hit with? This is a bizarre story. We go to Florida. On Wednesday, a 31-year-old man named Latrail, which means the trail in France, went into a 7-Eleven in St. Petersburg, Florida, picked up a glass jar of Tostito salsa, and heaved it at another customer that he did not know for no reason. It hit the guy in the back with so much force and so much heat that the glass jar broke on the guy's back. Police say the attack was unprovoked. He didn't know the guy. It's unclear if it was a jar of mild, medium, or hot. The police did arrest him for felony battery. He's also facing a theft charge for allegedly stealing a Choco Taco ice cream bar from the 7-Eleven when he walked out. The other guy is dealing with minor cuts and swelling, but apparently he will be fine. That's amazing that you could throw a full jar of salsa, hit somebody in the back with such force that the jar breaks.
Well, he has the advantage of being crazy.
Right? It's still a lot of force.
It is a lot of force.
I mean, that's amazing.
He's lucky they didn't get him additionally on charges of stealing a salsa. Because I doubt he ran up, paid for it real quick, and then threw it.
Yeah, let me pay for this real quick.
Yeah, pay before I hit him with it. Hello, Bill. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola. Bill, welcome to the program. Random question. Let's go with this one here. Bill, what were you aiming at, and then what did you actually hit?
Oh, damn, that's a hard one.
Well, it could have been involved in that, too.
Yeah, not for me. My aim sucks.
There was one time I was trying to skip a rock and ended up hitting my homeboy right in the head.
All right.
How? Was he in the water or what?
No, he wasn't. He was just right next to where I was actually shooting at, and I shot a little bit wide, and it got him in the back of the head.
Okay, that's horrible.
How much damage did you do?
It's kind of a lame story, but the first one that came to my mind.
All right, well, no, I'm just saying. I mean, if you're off by that much, if he's in front of you and you know where you're aiming, but you still don't even get skipped rock should be like, if you watch the guys who can really do it, your arm actually releases at about a foot off the ground.
Yeah.
So you're throwing it down.
I was farther away from the beach than I should have been.
I hope your friend was Peter Dinklage. I mean, something where you were that low, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't skip rocks anymore, dude. You suck at it. That should be. If you hit a guy in the head and he's not in the water,
right? You're skipping a rock. Like what's happening?
Yeah, I mean, like, are you throwing the rock or skipping a rock? Because you're right. Where you release that rock, I mean, even people that suck at it, you still throw it low. You maybe hit him in the ankle.
Yeah,
I've definitely skipped rocks in a river before. Like, as we were walking up the river.
Yeah.
But there was people. We got way too close to them.
Who are in the water?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to skip rocks. I might do it if you're in the water. But
we were like, yeah, we got plenty of room. Then we got a hold of one. It was like, and we just hit that dude in the back.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but his girl were just, like, swimming in the river.
Reese, we asked, what were you aiming at and what did you actually hit? We got a couple stories for you. A 32-year-old man was accidentally shot in the head in New Hampshire after the bullet fired by his 8-year-old nephew ricocheted while they were shooting chipmunks, according to police.
Oh, man!
The man is expected to recover, according to police. Police said a bullet shot by the 8-year-old ricocheted after killing the chipmunk and then hit the man in the head. So he actually did hit the chipmunk with a BB gun. It was truly just a freak accident. It's not against the law for anyone to teach a child how to shoot and take them hunting, even at 8 years old. There are kids who learn how to hunt and shoot a lot younger than that, according to the police. So they said, no big deal.
Is it legal to hunt chipmunks?
I guess. I mean, there's a million of them. Right?
And then we have a
they're not like in danger, bro.
Yeah. Can you imagine getting one and then
bragging about it?
Like hanging his little body up on the wall. Got my limited chipmunks today.
Then there's the story of the cricketer, and basically the equivalent of a home run is called a six in cricket. And they say that this man hit a huge six. Unfortunately, that ball landed and blew out the back of his car window. Asif Ali, who's 38, he was playing for the Illingsworth St. Mary's Cricket Club in Halifax. He said that his family had been watching a live stream of the game, texting him and calling him after the shot. He is renowned for his big hitting. He is a very destructive batsman. It was right off the middle of his bat. It went right through the middle of the back of his car window. He said, I've agreed to pay for my own windshield to be...
The video was great because you see him hit this thing. You don't realize it's his car, but it kind of shows him at home plate or the wicket or whatever the hell it is.
He just kind of drops to it. He squats down, drops to his...
But he just buries his face in his hands, and you're like, oh, right, it's his own car.
It's also crazy that he crushed it that far out of the stadium.
He did.
He nailed it.
Oh, man, he killed it.
Random.
Hello, Steven. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, guys.
Hola. Steven, welcome to the program. And a random question. Okay, what do we got here for you? All right, let's go with this one. Stephen, what would you say that in the last year and a half you bought more of because of the pandemic? What seems to be like your new purchase that you're buying more of?
Honestly, it's bulk silver.
Bulk silver?
Seltzer?
Yeah, like bullion, like silver bullion.
Oh, silver. All right.
So you've been buying silver. And has there been a pretty good return on that?
When I started buying it last year, it was at about $22. It went up crazy high. I sold a boatload. And now I've just been collecting little bits of coins as it starts to fluctuate.
I was going to say, when you buy silver, you're just buying something that's imaginary on the market. Now, granted, it is actual silver, but it's not like they send you a bar of silver if you spend $100 on silver, right?
No. I go to a physical silver store locally in Burien right now, and I sought out physical silver so I don't get screwed like some of those other people.
Are there different grades of silver, as in like carats and gold? Like sterling silver. So, I mean, was one more valuable than the other? I don't know.
Not necessarily valuable, but like for instance, a fun fact is that the U.S. metals are not as pure as like a Canadian metal because we use a different molecular bond than some of the others. So our coins are not 99.9%.
Okay, what would be the top grade? Like Ted, you always talk about the gold that comes from India.
Yeah.
Okay, what about silver? Is there anything equivalent to that? Like, well, if you get silver from this place and it's the real deal.
Honestly, silver is just about where you're getting it from. I won't buy it online because you run into like the Jameis Mattis. I think that's the name. And yeah, I go for physical silver from stores to support local shops.
And how many pounds of silver would you say you own now?
I just broke 200 ounces.
Okay. What do you think the value of that is? I don't know.
So about 100 ounces goes for just over $3,000, and I've been slowly but surely buying. So I think I'm close to 10 grand with my little bit of bulk and so forth.
Okay.
And where does one, do you get like a safety deposit box at a bank or something to store this stuff?
Nope, it's in a shoebox under my bed.
Okay.
That's the last place I would ever look.
Right, underneath your
Don't
bed.
look under the bed, and if there's a shoebox, I guarantee it's just shoes.
Exactly. I would put it in an empty cleaning container or something. You know what I mean? Like
Tide Pod.
Like Swifter. Like, you know what I mean? Something like that. Where I don't know.
Maybe a safe.
Or safe.
Yeah, safe would be good too. The reason we asked, what did you buy more of during the pandemic? A new study, this is going to be shocking, at the University of Pittsburgh found that sales of Viagra and other erectile dysfunction drugs skyrocketed during the last year. There was a dip in sales early on during the pandemic in March and April, but then the product just shot way up after that. The senior author of the study says the stats they saw suggest people are having more spontaneous sex with their partners than ever before, and added the men, quote, wanted always to be ready.
Hell yeah, man.
Just in case.
Got to be ready.
I hope they actually got to use it. Because sales and use are different. I remember buying condoms when I was younger. And I remember watching those same condoms expire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, taking an ED drug than not having sex.
Right. Now you're just having an erection.
Now you're just ready.
You're up and, nothing you can do. I mean, like up late, just sitting there thinking about.
Please go away.
Come on.
I got to really time these 4 hours.
Yeah.
This is awful. Your guess is as good as mine. Our categories today will be on the snobby estates and your favorite cereals. You are listening to The Men's Room.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.